Here we go. We're live.
We are live?
Yep.
We're live now?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Alex Kelly back here with another episode of the Furloughed Film Talks podcast. Here with my brother, Ryan.
What's up, everybody?
Every time I do that now, I have to remember that you don't like me not saying your name.
Yeah,
so
I
I've made it a conscious effort.
I really don't be like, hey, I'm Ryan.
Yeah, my name is Ryan. I'm the other guy on this show. No, we are back.
I'm the older, lighter-skinned version of this guy.
Yes, I thought about that last night in a weird way. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but yeah, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I'm very dark sometimes.
Yeah.
It's very apparent this time of the year when it gets really cold and like everybody else is kind of getting pale and I'm still.
It's also very apparent in the middle of summer when I spend all day indoors and get very pale skin. And you look like you've been sun tanning every day.
Yeah, I walk outside and I get a tan. It's crazy. No, but we are back here on a Thursday for our Friday episode. We are on YouTube. We are live streaming every episode now. This is episode 77.
Yep.
Which is insane. We are picking up some traction. We definitely appreciate everybody who is checking out the show. If you want to watch our live streams, they are go to YouTube, search Furloughed Film Talks, subscribe to the channel. You'll find some information out. I'm sending this link to Christy right now because Christy Barkey, I went to high school with her.
Cool.
She texted me about the very first thing that we are going to talk about today.
She standing up for Gina Carano?
She is not. Okay. No,
Shocking.
She sent me something very interesting that I wanted to try to find, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, thank you for sending that to me, Christine. It was a list. I'm going to read verbatim what the article is called. See Gina Carano's tweets and posts that got her fired from The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So a full exhaustive list, I assume, of what she said. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
We will then talk about the amazing news of a video game adaptation. I'm just trying to see if the chat, anybody's saying anything.
I'll let you know.
Okay. I
want you to focus.
I know. All right. So
don't worry about the.
So The Last of Us, a video game adaptation of the beloved video game. There's been There's been
film adaptation.
Film adaptation. Did I say video game adaptation?
Yeah.
I kept seeing video game adaptation. Anyways,
that'd be cool if. Well, never mind.
No, say it.
If more films were adapted into video games.
Can I go off on a tangent real fast?
Sure, it's
cool.
It's your show, dude.
It's our show.
It's our show.
I can remember back when that sounds like I'm super old or something. I can remember back when a movie would come out and a video game would join it, would be like accompanying with it.
Yeah, so like around the 2004, 5, something like that.
Later. Yeah. Because I think the last one that I remember is like Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and Harry Potter. Which
honestly, those PC games weren't that bad.
No, they were a lot of fun.
I think the very first one was actually really good.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I can remember when they did that. Like, they did all the Spider-Man games, had like an accompanying video game.
Yeah.
And then it was around Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, even Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which would have been 08, 09-ish.
Yeah.
Where, like, they just stopped doing that because I guess it just wasn't profitable at all.
And plus, I think the movies got too dark to, like, make these kind of,
true,
kid-friendly games.
But that's across the board, like, Fantastic Four had accompanying games. Like all the movies that came out in the 2000s had like a game that would accompany it. That would be like the video game adaptation version. And then all of a sudden, like basically going into the 2010s, like they just stopped doing that.
I don't know. It might have got like too expensive.
I bet
since like the consoles got more complicated and it just got more expensive to make video games out of it. So they're like, fuck it.
And like it's all of a sudden just like more cost if like the movie tanks because then like people don't want to.
We do have a few comments.
Oh, Vinny. We've Instagram lived with him in the past. He's an awesome dude. Go check him out on Instagram.
Okay, so Harry Potter Legacy, is that the console one?
That HP Legacy, I think, is
pretty sure Harry Potter.
Yeah, which has been delayed. It got delayed to 2022.
Everything got delayed. I mean,
true. Yeah. No, I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with Harry Potter Legacy.
Did you ever play The Last of Us?
I did not. That's
okay.
Greg did, and it kind of sucks that he set in the late 1800s. Yeah, so it'll be console Harry Potter Legacy, or it's Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is what it's going to be called.
Okay.
So that will be on all the consoles. No, Greg was telling me about the last one that came out.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, there was a part of it that really pissed off the fans. And I was like, dude, I'm never going to fucking play this game. Just like tell me, because I like a good story. And so I'm not going to say what it was, but like he told me what happens. And I was like, fuck, like narratively, that's super cool. Now I'm a little pissed because
it was cool, but it pissed off the fans
because of the direction they went with certain characters.
Okay.
They like, I can't say a lot because it would spoil like what is going to be part of that show.
Sure.
What are you going to say something before that?
No, I started it. I like just couldn't get into it early.
Yeah, I don't know. You know me.
You don't play that many, like
we don't, which is really dumb. Why I bought a PS5, but whatever.
Yeah, you were like insistent that we get a PS5.
That's a completely
every
different.
step of the way. I'm like, dude, we're never gonna play these fucking things.
That's a completely different.
And how many times have you played the PS5 in the like fucking how long we had it? 6 weeks now?
We got it the day before Christmas.
So yeah.
So almost 2 months. Yeah, so that was kind of dumb. But we have a PS5.
Christy Barkey says the Quidditch game is still coming out on time, though.
There's a Quidditch game?
I guess there's a Quidditch game.
What? Yeah. That sounds badass. Don't get me started on Quidditch because I will be like, they need to make a Quidditch movie. And I've got a full...
Yeah, I know.
I've got a full movie that I could pitch to fucking Warner Brothers.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yes.
You got the script ready
I've got done and everything.
Okay. You can't even finish your own novel, but you've written a...
I wrote another 1,000 words of that today.
Did you?
I did.
Good for you,
we are slowly but surely getting there. Yeah, I started looking into that as well, like who like publishes novellas. It was...
I fucking love that word.
It's a great word.
It's novellas, right?
Novellas. Yeah.
Okay.
Novella, whatever. Fuck it.
Novella sounds like a...
This is off to a great start. No, like I looked it up and it was like, who publishes novellas? And literally one of the articles was like, no one. No one does. Cool.
You're just like, you just self-published. Like,
yeah, no, I know. Yeah, like, but it had always been like should I try to get it?
All right, so since we're still on the video game thing,
so
Vinny wants to know what our thoughts on our Gotham Knights.
On Gotham Knights, that was announced around the time of DC Fandom, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was during I
think it's gonna be really fucking cool because I think it's gonna be kind of in the same vein as like Arkham Knight and and like that style.
Those DC video games have been like super good.
On fucking point.
Yeah,
which is why I'm kind of happy that they stopped doing like the video game movie.
Well, most of them were shit. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's like just focus on like good movie or good video games, like good stories within a video game instead of trying to like adapt whatever some fucking like screenwriter.
I'm glad like a video game studio that has a lot of success with like Arkham Knight series is expanding into the like related characters in the universe.
Well, and here's the other thing that I loved about Gotham Knights is just the aesthetic of what they were trying to do with Gotham in there. You have those neon colors and like just that in and of itself right there, the fucking logo is so freaking cool. Like I'm very excited for that.
It reminded me a lot of what's the TV show?
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans. It's basically like a video game out of Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I'm very excited for that.
That'd be really cool.
That's a weird thing about me in video games. Is
which
like,
we'll probably never play that.
Oh, now that I'm able to buy video games and it's not like this is a strain on my like
finances.
I will probably like I always wanted to play Arkham Asylum. I always wanted to play those games. It was just like I didn't have the money to go out.
I think out of like all the video games that come out over the next 2 or 3 years, we'll definitely buy Gotham Knights. We'll definitely get the Hogwarts game.
Definitely get the Suicide Squad game that's going to come out.
Yeah, and then we get Call of Duty every year. Or at least I like to play that. So
I like to play that too. I'm going to try and get more into Warzone.
We need to get another fucking controller so we can play.
Yeah, and that's the other reason why we haven't played it more because we just haven't bought another freaking controller. Because we would play it together.
What we really need to do is get another controller and get Madden. And then we'd be playing all the fucking time.
Dude, let's not get too far into this, but like college football.
Okay, we're getting to Gina Carano, Vinny.
Who is Vinny?
He's asking about.
We'll be there in a second.
We're working our way up to
college
that.
Football.
Shit!
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that I am so stoked for.
Never mind.
No, go for it.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
Fuck it, it's our show.
Does the new Xbox play Xbox 360 games?
I would assume so.
It doesn't matter. We don't have
I'm not going to look that up. Because no, I'm so excited for it because one of the funniest parts of like the old NCAA football games were Greg used to always tell me that when people on Reddit, when they would talk about it, they would always talk about taking one team that was the shittiest in all of college football.
Oh, and like winning with it?
Yeah. And the one that everybody used to pick, who would they used to pick?
UNC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it was always the easiest to take to the championship. It was like just
really?
In the computer world.
I'm surprised people didn't do like fucking SMU and shit.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but for some reason it was fucking North Texas. So like he would show me posts about it, and I would just laugh my ass off.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like they won't do like a reskinned version of Madden. Hopefully they'll do like a full new game for it.
They'll have to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's our video game talk. That was our intro, basically. But we are going to talk.
We didn't even talk about The Last of Us at all.
We're going to talk about The Last of Us again here in a second. We will get to that in a minute.
You want to get to Gina?
Yeah, I wanted to kick it off with Gina. We'll get to The Last of Us in a second. We'll review a movie that we just watched tonight. Part of the reason why I'm wearing a Dallas Stars jersey. We reviewed a movie from a Dallas director.
Oh, that's
filmed here in the Dallas area. Also, because the guy who's back or whose number this is just went on the IR today, Alexander Radulov. That's why our offense. We will review a ghost story starring Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck. And what's her name? The singer Kesha.
Kesha's in it. Yeah. Who's the director?
David
Lowery.
Did I get that right? Yeah, David Lowery. I wrote that down specifically. But we have to get to the biggest piece of entertainment news.
Yeah.
It's always hyperbolic to say this. It reverberated through the fucking.
But this has been like the most talked about thing for at least 24 hours now.
Yeah.
This is like started last night, really.
Which let's just go ahead and say what happened. Gina Carano, who played Cara Dune on The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, was officially basically, and this is where you have to be very technical with what they actually said. Lucasfilm said that she is not under contract and that she will never be under contract again, effectively firing her from the show.
Right. Specifically, she is not attached to any Star Wars projects at the moment, and that she won't be attached in the future at all.
Yeah, and that's like that again, just technical stuff.
And this really started like around the election, is as far as like she was saying.
It had been before. Like she had always.
Okay, when did she make the comments about comparing the persecution of Trump supporters to?
I think
Holocaust survivors.
I think that had just happened, but she had been making transphobic remarks. Okay. She had been railing against masks. She had basically said that COVID wasn't really a big deal for a really long while. She had a lot of comments throughout just the last year.
Yeah.
Where they were questionable. And I guess the one question that I really wanted to ask you is, are you surprised Disney actually did this? Because it's easy to be like, oh my God, they like, fuck yeah, she's gone, blah, blah. But it's like,
okay,
let's step away from the hyperbole. Let's really like look at the situation and be like, are we surprised?
I don't know. I think I'm a little bit surprised because it's it's really interesting. Pedro Pascal tweeted. Did you see this anywhere today?
Yes, I did, and I go ahead and say it.
Yeah, so Pedro Pascal had like tweeted or posted at some point a comparison of like Jews in concentration camps like it was just like basically an Instagram post where like the top picture was like concentration camps, and then the bottom picture was undocumented immigrant children in like immigration camps, right? So I mean, I guess because he didn't like, I don't know. There is a clear difference there, right?
Oh, it's
there's
a
like,
huge difference.
Yeah, there's a difference, but I don't know. I mean,
you're just not like, and here's the problem. Like, he's pointing out something that is happening outside of himself.
Well, yeah, it's a separate group. Like, he's not making a judgment call or criticizing anything that's like directly affecting him.
He's not saying, "Oh, I'm being persecuted like the Jews were in the Holocaust."
Right.
That's the main difference. Where Carano literally was saying, like, or she wasn't saying. She posted this to her Instagram. She was trying to basically say, how is it any different from Republicans being demonized than the Jews being demonized in Nazi Germany? And it's literally like, buddy, like, they're two wildly separate things.
Right. So if it had been just this and Disney like saw this tweet and was like, nope, we have to get rid of her, like that's fucking it.
Yeah.
Then I would be kind of surprised. But the fact that for months now she's
did all of this
fairly questionable tweets. I mean, it is kind of shitty that, you know, you can't like have, I mean, if she was just having these opinions without like being like criticizing certain groups or like actually being transphobic or homophobic or any of that stuff, if she was just being like critical of actual treatment of like Republicans or Trump supporters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Disney was like, oh, that's not our politics, so you know we're gonna get rid of her. Like
then it's fucked up.
Then then it's a different story. And I don't think that would be right. But I think Disney's perfectly within their rights to say, you know, you can't marginalize like part of our audience and then still try and like represent, you know, one of our characters in one of our shows, exactly. Right? Like,
and I was trying to find the transphobic thing she did, and I really don't want to get into this too much. Like, it was the whole, you know how people put their pronouns on their, she put beep, bop, boop as her like pronouns on her fucking. Like,
that was it?
But then she like put out a tweet where it was like beep, bop, boop has zero to do with mocking trans people and 100% to do with exposing the bullying mentality of the mob that has taken over the voices of many genuine causes. I want people to know you can take hate with a smile. So boop you for misunderstanding. # all love, no hate. Like, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I mean,
it's weak, but like, if you know that she had like 500,000 followers and she's the star of a fucking Star Wars show. And
not really, but sure.
She's in a Star Wars show. Yeah. Just don't do that shit.
But plus, wasn't there talks of like them creating a show around her? Okay.
And so she tweeted something in November, which is why it got cratered. She literally tweeted something in November, and like there are now reports where like what she tweeted back then, they were gonna like reveal it at that investor day back when they announced like Fantastic Four and all that shit. They were going to announce it that day. And then she tweeted something like days before, and they were like, we can't fucking do that now.
What'd she tweet in November, though?
Let me Google real fast. Gina Carano, November.
I mean, I think this is like right on the line of being like over the top on her part, right? It's like right on that gray area of like, Disney's in the right, but, you know,
If it was any,
let me finish my thought real fast. Like, I think it's right on the line, but if you know you're working for Disney and you know specifically like you're working for a studio that like the studio head, Kathleen Kennedy, has like kind of pushed social justice warrior stuff and like promoting the feminine in their latest Star Wars project, like, if you're trying to like have a healthy career trajectory in a like industry that she's not that new in, like she's not that veteran in, like she's only been in like the acting biz for a very short period of time since she was a UFC
and now
fighter.
She doesn't have a fuck. She's literally not.
She's fucked, right?
She doesn't have representation. And I saw somebody, and I was like, I get what this fucking guy is saying. He was like, I'm in PR, I'm in public relations,
right?
If a company puts out a statement that says your actions are abhorrent, that is purposed. And when it comes from a company like Disney, you are fucked.
Yeah,
they're putting that out there for a reason. You are not going to work.
Like, I get where she thinks she's coming from, but she fucking like, this is just really stupid on her part. She like, I get like she's trying to kind of be noble and like stick up for what she thinks is right, but you have to realize like in today's culture and environment, like comparing anything to the fucking Holocaust and comparing yourself to the Holocaust into like in 2020 is never a fucking good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I mean,
but like that's my point. Like, if it had been anything else, like if it had been any other topic and they had fired her over it, I would have been like, oh, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I don't agree with what she has ever said, but like, she should have her
right.
opinion.
If she had left this like Holocaust comparison out of it and just said like, hey, I don't agree with, you know, the way people on the right are treated by the media or by, you know, the online mob. Great. Like Disney wouldn't have had a problem with that. It's like the minute you
bring in the Holocaust, as soon as you start comparing yourself to Jews in the Holocaust,
especially
you
and let's go down like a little bit of a rabbit hole here, especially with the accusations that have been thrown Walt Disney's way about the Jewish community. Like he wasn't exactly, you know,
wasn't the most inclusive guy in the world.
The best Goyim friend down at the temple.
Nah, man, I full transparency. Okay. I don't ever want to like bullshit. I didn't know what your opinions were going to be on this.
Yeah.
I think I thought we were pretty like-minded on it, and turns out, yes, we are. But like some of the time there is it's a freedom of speech type of thing, or she should just be able to say like, so I didn't know if that's where that like this conversation was going to go, but like, it's just fucked up that like you come out and say this type of stuff and then like don't expect any repercussions.
Right.
And it's even worse when people who are let's just say on that spectrum of the political aisle try to come out and say like, this is an infringement on our First Amendment rights and blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
it's literally not.
It's not, because
the government is not preventing you from the speech, right? A private company
exactly
had like the private, what your speech is has no bearing on the rights of a private company to employ you or not.
Exactly.
Right? So like, this is not at all a freedom of speech deal at all. Right?
Exactly.
Whatever. Like, you know, one thing that I think is really funny is like whenever this kind of thing happens, you can really tell like who's on the wrong or right side by who comes in defense of the person in question. And
no shit, right?
The minute like, you know, Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro and all these fucking people,
Donald Trump Jr.
lose their shit over it, you're like, okay, like this is probably, you know, probably acceptable.
Probably not the best place.
You know, I wish we weren't in this environment, and I wish like, you know, you could be inflammatory and edgy without having these repercussions, but not when you're working for Disney, not when you're like in arguably one of the biggest IPs in the fucking world. Like, no, that's just not how Hollywood works, right?
I was about to rebut you and say like, yeah, you can be inflammatory, but like, who I was thinking of is like, oh, they're not employed by these big companies. They've made their own way.
Yeah.
And that's why they're able to be inflammatory, but they're not they're not inflammatory in these ways.
And if you're working
is the biggest fucking problem.
If you're working for Comedy Central or you're making movies with Judd Apatow, you can say this shit all day long, right? When you're a Star Wars actress, fucking stay off Twitter. Like, just don't.
But they're not saying shit like this. Like, they're not comparing themselves to Holocaust victims. Like, they're just like pointing out the absurdity of like a bunch of other shit. Like, they're not,
but they could, and they could get away with it for the most part.
I really don't think anybody could really get away with this. Like, I really like. There's a lot of lines. I legitimately believe this is the one where it's like you cannot compare yourself to that. Like, that is the line for anybody,
right?
No matter what your status is, no matter who you're associated with. Like, it's almost kind of like, and this is probably not a good comparison, but like we've watched it a lot lately. The Ari Shaffir thing with like Kobe.
Yeah.
Or like he made, that was kind of his shtick, was like, oh, I always make jokes when people die. And then he made a joke about Kobe dying, and it was just like, bro, that was the line. Like,
right.
Probably not the best comparison, but like there is always that line for everybody where if you cross it, you cannot come back from it. And there are certain things, and sometimes it's fleeting where it's not all the time. Somebody might have just died and they're a big public figure, or it's something like the Holocaust where it's always the fucking line and you just can't cross it.
Right. I would be confident in saying that unless you're literally a Holocaust survivor, don't make these jokes. And even if you are a Holocaust survivor,
you probably
shouldn't be making these jokes.
You wouldn't fucking make those jokes. Like
even if you wanted to make those jokes, you probably shouldn't, because like you would realize that, hey, a bunch of my. Anyways, Vinny asks, "What are our thoughts on Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard situation?"
Yeah, I saw that. We've talked about that.
Is there something new?
No, it's just
okay.
It's one of those things where it's. And you said this to me yesterday, and it kind of pissed me off, and I was like, "Fuck you," but it's true. It's the whataboutism type thing that always happens around these types of subjects. What did you just say?
Amber Heard removal petition hitting 3 million for Aquaman. The petition to remove her from Aquaman is hit 3 million. We'll get there. You will finish your thought.
It's the whataboutism of these type of things where the Gina Carano getting removed, and then this has come back up where it's like everybody's wanted her removed from this movie because there was domestic abuse allegations against Johnny Depp, and then he said that she was the one who was really abusing him, and he had broken a finger or something. She had sliced off his finger.
Literally cut his fucking finger off.
Cut his finger off, and there is a ton of evidence that she was the one that was abusive towards him. And then you had the UK legal system basically awarding her a lawsuit. Like, there's all this.
We're tossing out his lawsuit, I thought,
against her, but which is effectively a win for her.
Sure, yeah, it's definitely a win.
And so you have all this back and forth where it's just like, how the fuck is she? And then it was. And this is where we talked about it, because Johnny Depp had to be taken out of was removed from Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
Where props to him, because he did like a day or two of work and got paid $8 to $10 million.
Yeah.
Badass move.
Great.
But Amber Heard is still in Aquaman 2, and they're talking about giving her own show on HBO Max, and like there's all this different shit that she has. Should she still be able to work when there are these allegations out there, when if it were a male person or a male actor and they had the same allegations, they would not be able to work at all?
Okay, so like, this is real quick, because we talked about this like several times. So like, at the end of the day, do you think Johnny Depp should have been removed from Fantastic Beasts? Like, let's just like put aside us knowing whose side is right or wrong.
With the evidence that's
just everything that we know about the case. Who, like, should Johnny Depp have been removed from that movie, in your opinion?
In my opinion, can I hedge for 2 seconds?
Okay.
Was he removed, or did he voluntarily leave?
We don't know. So like I think we have to assume that
he was basically told like, you're not going to be in this fucking movie.
Yes.
Like, take this paycheck and fucking leave.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
If he was basically told that, then no, he should not have been told that. It's badass basically that he got a $8 to $10 million paycheck to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
That's good, I guess.
So my point
he basically
is
now has that on his record where it's like, we don't want you in this movie anymore. And that then reverberates to what jobs can you get in the future. What's up?
No, go. Keep going.
No. So that then reverberates to what jobs he can get in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
And that affects everything forward. So like, yeah, that even if they paid him to get the fuck off the set, like you still then are not going to be able to get shit in the future. And so no, that should not have happened.
Right.
Like,
so really my point is like with all the evidence we know, I don't think Johnny Depp should have been asked to step down from the Fantastic Beasts movies. And in the same light, Amber Heard probably should not be removed from the Aquaman movie, right? But I know like because we're saying what I don't want to do is say because Johnny Depp got removed from Fantastic Beasts, then yes.
Oh, she has to be removed.
She should it's because it's like a what if scenario.
Yeah.
Or an if then scenario. I don't know. Like it's not.
But it's just and here's why I'm like I agree with what you're saying. It's just a weird fucking stance for them to take when it's not a main actor of one of their franchises that they're keeping. It's the love interest in one of their DC movies.
Very loose love interest.
Yeah.
Too.
So, but like for the nerds, it's that's the very big love interest of Aquaman. So it's like, why the fuck are you like holding on to this? Like, it's really weird that you are like basically saying you're gonna keep her.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like especially since it's the same studio, like
that's the biggest problem.
If you're gonna cut one, cut both.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do any, what I thought should have happened, like just fucking
cut both. Yeah.
Or no, don't do anything at all. Right?
Just don't do anything.
Because you're gonna either piss off like a huge group of fans here, you're gonna piss off a huge group of fans here. The easiest thing to do is to do nothing. Right?
True.
Throw it back to the crown. Just don't do anything. Let everything die down. And by the time those movies come out in 2023 or the fuck it is, like no one's like there'll still be some
fucking people who will be pissed off, but like it will not be as big as like Gina Carano. Like
right.
So no.
Okay, but
I saw what he said.
Him getting removed as Captain Jack
was well past time, but whatever.
No, is a goddamn travesty. And
it is, but like
I am
they should have stopped after 3.
That's a good point. And that's should not be making any more.
And that's my only point where it's like I get like, hey, he should he should be attached if they're still making them, but
let's not
stop fucking making them. I'm one of the very few people who like really enjoyed the 3rd movie.
Yeah,
World's End. I loved all of the first 3 movies, and then I think I stopped watching them after like 5 because like
what number was like the last one to come out?
6.
Fuck me.
Yeah, dude. Like
I've seen every single one of them though. Like I still fucking love them, but
I love those movies, and it's just like, should he have been removed? No, but like at this point, just stop fucking making them. Like
they can't. They literally can't though.
Yes, they can. They have all the fucking money in the world from their MCU movies. Like, just fucking let that one die. They are not Warner Brothers where, like, they have to find tent poles to hold up the rest of their fucking, like, studio.
But, I mean...
But they want money.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
come on.
True. Yeah.
God damn it. That was a spirited fucking discussion. We've got quite a few people on here.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Thank you, Vinny, for commenting.
Yeah, a lot of good questions.
That was good, man.
He says Pirates of the Caribbean 5 was the last one. So
5. Okay, so I'm fucking wrong. But Margot Robbie is going to be on the next one.
Is she really?
Yeah, that's who they've replaced him with. Dude, can I go on like a quick like side 1-minute tangent?
Sure.
We're just going to start calling these 1-minute tangents.
That turn into 10-minute rants.
Fuck off. All right. Somebody was like, it's the 1 year anniversary of the best DC movie ever to be released, and it was 1 year ago today. You want to know what movie they're fucking talking about?
Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost threw my phone.
Wait, that was a tweet you
Yes. So not a lot of people.
That person should never be allowed to like write any criticism of any movie ever again.
I was like, what movie did you watch? Like, what did you see? Yeah,
that's awful.
Whatever. So Gina Carano is no longer a part of Star Wars.
At the end of the day, very understandable by Disney. Like,
let's talk about real fast. Let's not spend a lot of time on this because I don't think there's a lot to get into on this part of it. Do you think they recast her?
No, there won't be like the exact same character. They'll like obviously get new characters for this. They're not going to recast that exact same character. That character's
Cara Dune is basically done for.
Yeah, whatever. That's certainly Cara Dune.
Yeah, it's the character in the show.
She's done.
So I think they'll be done with that, and they'll bring just like a new character in, which is just kind of like, but whatever. So, but let's move on to another of the Mandalorian people and a video game that is being adapted into a movie. The Last of Us, they dropped the news of basically casting one of the two biggest parts of that movie show. It's HBO Max show.
Yeah.
They then dropped the news that the other person has been cast. Who is going to be in this adaptation, Ryan?
So we got Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
As the main male lead.
Joel.
And then this is like my favorite part of this fucking announcement is the badass little girl from Game of Thrones is going to be the female lead, whatever her name is. I literally have never I bought this game. I played it for like 10 minutes and got really bored of it. And like I don't know. I think I bought that and Max Payne at the same time, and Max Payne was like 10 times better.
Her face is messed up. That's weird.
What? Oh, that's just a reflection, dude.
Oh, am I an asshole? That is. Okay, I'm a terrible person. All right. But anyways, it said Game of Thrones breakout star. She was an absolute badass in that show.
Yeah, she's great. She's like one of the best parts of those last couple seasons.
Bella Ramsey is going to star as Ellie.
Okay.
In the show.
And there was one more female
casting.
Yeah, I thought
there. Yeah, I saw something about that today. No, it was just super funny. Like last night when, this all started to break, that Pedro Pascal had been cast in this show, and it was literally like an hour after Gina Carano had been kicked out of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like it was just the memes that were flying around. Where
the best meme was the like can be good, but it can't be.
Yeah.
It's like first it's Gina Carano, and then it's Pedro Pascal cast as Joel.
No, I think it's this, and it's like this. No, man, like I'm not like we said a ton of times already, but we're not huge Last of Us fans at all.
Yeah,
we are, however, huge Pedro Pascal fans.
Very much so.
I made the joke last night on Twitter where it was, there were a lot of reports when season 2 of The Mandalorian was coming out that he was pissed off about not having a lot more FaceTime.
They gave him. Did he say that after season 1 or after season 2?
Rumors. They're just rumors that.
But what was the timing?
It was like right before season 2 started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I
thought that was Disney, just like me and
Disney.
No. Like putting out those rumors to like get people talking about it, and then like they gave us Pedro Pascal FaceTime.
Yeah. No, and I said last night I was just basically like, "Hey, it looks like Pedro Pascal got his streaming show where he can show off his face, like his leading fucking shit." Like, so no, I'm super excited for him. Like
how
he gives
often
a fuck.
Do you tweet a day?
Like personally?
Yeah.
Or retweets.
How often a day do you like craft a new tweet?
3.
Okay.
Why?
Just wondering.
Do you think it's more?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't do it too often.
Okay.
And usually it's not good, so don't follow me.
It's fine.
I'm just saying.
It's not good. PR for yourself.
It's not. I know. I took PR classes, Ryan. My fucking degree was in PR. So,
anyways, no, it looks interesting. I mean, I don't
know. Craig Mazin, who created HBO's acclaimed limited series Chernobyl, is writing and executive producing with Neil Druckmann, the writer and creative director of the game. So they have the guy who did Chernobyl helping out with this game or this movie. Fuck,
Jesus, man. I would really like to know, like, you think? Okay, so what's the movie Tom Holland's going to be in next year?
Uncharted.
Do you think the writers, like, when you get hired to write a screenplay and a script for a video game adaptation, do you think, like, they sit down and play that video game?
Yes. Either they have or they basically sit down and play it. Because I think
I don't think the fucking Chernobyl writer is sitting down and playing The Last of Us, to be honest.
I don't think he is, because he's executive producing it with the writer and creative director of the games. Like, that guy has literal firsthand knowledge.
Oh, so like they have someone from the production of the video game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Executive producing with Neil Druckmann. So he is also an executive producer, and he was a writer and the literal creative director of those games.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I think most of the time they have somebody from the game, like consulting or executive producing alongside or writing. But yeah,
I can't imagine, like, I don't know, like, adapting a book is hard enough, right? But like adapting a video game, like, you can't just,
it's never fucking worked.
You can't ever just like flip open to like page 90 and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, that's a really fucking good point, because you legitimately can't just jump in the middle of the story. Like, you have to progress that way through.
Right.
And even with a movie, like, you can like cut to that part.
Yeah. I mean, if you have one of the creators on the team, like, they would probably bring like the storyboards and like everything they use to create the video game. So like you could kind of like jump into certain points of it, but like it's got to be a hell of a lot harder than adapting like books or written work, right?
And we've seen that because it just hasn't worked. Like, they haven't had
it's never been
game adaptation.
great.
And something that, like, I want to bring this up now, and it's because I think we're like less than a fucking month from it coming out, but like there has been legitimately no press for this whatsoever. We are, what's today's date? The 12th? It's about to be the 12th. Today's the 11th.
Yeah.
We are 2 months from Tuesday away from the Mortal Kombat movie coming out.
Yeah.
We don't have any teasers, any trailers.
We have
like 5 photos.
The only video you have from it is in the promo for HBO Max that they did.
And that's like as basic as you can get, because it's literally just showing Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
But I mean, like if you're HBO or like Warner Brothers, you have X number of dollars for promotion and marketing. Like, are you going to dump that money into like 100% Godzilla vs. Kong, or are you going to split it up and promote Mortal Kombat?
I think with Mortal Kombat, there's enough of a diehard fan base where
they're already going to know about it and they're already going to see it for sure.
Yes,
like they don't have to do anything.
You need to incentivize them. You need to show them that you are doing this right. Otherwise, they're going to sit at home. They're not the type of fan base where it's like, oh, I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, I'm just going to go watch it willy-nilly. Like, they need to be shown that it's true to what Mortal Kombat is. Otherwise, they just won't fucking see it. Like,
yeah,
that is how that, and it's,
I don't know. I mean, it's on HBO Max, so it's like they can stay home and watch it, right? So
I don't know. I'm super excited. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and like,
yeah, I mean, those like first couple of movies are hilarious.
Oh, they're fucking great. Yeah. Like, and the games are amazing. It's just like I'm perplexed how they're handling it at this point, but like they released the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, a month and a half before it was supposed to come out?
Mm-hmm.
Or not even, 2 months. So
I was surprised we didn't get something from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a lot of those, pretty much every studio held back. They just didn't want to pay to be at the Super Bowl this time.
Which makes, the numbers were pretty far down for the Super Bowl.
But I guess, I bet we get something. It'll be the 12th when this episode comes out. I bet within the next couple of days we get a Mortal Kombat trailer. That's what I would see. So, is there anything in the chat we need to talk about?
Question about Uncharted. I think we can really quickly say excited about Tom Holland.
Yes,
it's probably gonna be a piece of shit movie.
I don't agree with that, but all right.
I think it's gonna be.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have an episode. I don't know what number it was. We had an in-depth conversation about Uncharted.
It was when the first photos came out. Is it just all Uncharted questions at this
point?
And
then the new Batwoman actress.
We haven't watched that, so we have no
idea.
We can't talk.
We'll talk about it Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it?
A ghost story?
Yes. We are going to now talk about, and this is a very interesting one.
What's our slogan for these type of movies? What's our little category?
This is not a dumpster fire review, is it?
It's not. You had a new one. Remember Blast from the...
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. I didn't think this would be a blast from the past. This is a blast from the past review. It's a very interesting one just because of the fact that it is a Dallas review. It was filmed here in the Dallas area.
It was filmed in Irving.
Filmed in Irving.
By a director from the Dallas area.
Graduated from Irving High School.
The composer of the score, also from Dallas. And so this is
starring Kesha.
Not really.
Yeah. But Blast from the Past review came out in 2017.
Yes, thank you.
Starring Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara, directed by David Lowery, who, quick aside, listening to him talk, I want more. That guy is passionate.
Getting another movie from him this year.
Yes. We'll get to that in a bit. But he is very passionate about what he talks about, and he talks about it very thoughtfully. But he directed a movie called A Ghost Story. Mm-hmm. It came out in 2017. It was an official selection of the Sundance Film Festival in 2017.
Yes.
Ryan, do you want to run through what this movie is all about?
Yeah, man. So, Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara are a loving couple who live in this old, dilapidated house. Location undescript. And within 10 minutes of the movie, Casey Affleck's character dies.
You see it in the trailer, so yeah.
And it's pretty fucking clear. Yeah. Casey Affleck's character dies, and he comes back as a ghost, but a literal sheet ghost. If you imagine, kids putting a bed sheet over their heads and pretending they're a ghost, that is exactly the costume Casey Affleck wore to play a ghost for the remaining 80 minutes of the movie.
Better description, the Charlie Brown, ghost outfit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like the, as old as time, image, archetype of a ghost, right? And he haunts the house. Very quickly after he dies, Rooney Mara's character moves out of the house, and several different sets. Oh yeah, for sure. Several different sets of people move into the house. He haunts his house over several years, and then there's some time jump. It's really I guess meditation. That's pretentious as fuck. It's a exploration, I guess, of one's connection to a physical space, or the emotional connection that you have to maybe your home or a childhood, physical space or what have you, right? Because the way David described this movie is, or the concept behind the movie was, he was moving from Dallas to LA, and him and his wife were moving out of their first home together.
And it wasn't really his decision to move. It was a necessity to move to LA. He did not want to.
It wasn't his preference, but it was like a necessity of his career progression, right? Yeah. So, he had a very strong connection to this home, and once he got to LA, he was very upset about it, and like his curiosity out of kind of exploring that emotional connection we have to physical spaces was a direct result of that. So why don't you give your opinion of the movie first?
This is going to be a really personal, review for me, because watching it, it was just cinematically watching it was very interesting, because everything that I've ever heard, in high school, it was, oh, hey, my Bible teacher used to tell us, I think it was 90% of film, the communication of it is nonverbal.
Okay.
Most of the movies, you're never able really to tell that. This is the movie where it really takes that concept and runs with it, where I think there's about a 20 to 30 minute part of this movie where there is no talking.
Yeah.
And I love that, because
I would say probably 70% of this movie was no dialogue whatsoever.
And I love people taking that concept and really running with it, because most of the dialogue or most of the communication you see on film is not me saying I like you. It's me giving you a look and you understanding what that look means, and it's nonverbal communication. And that, when it's in a movie and it's really played up, I really enjoy that. Now, saying that I enjoyed that aspect of it, there was a lot of it that I didn't really fucking understand. Okay. Just because it's an art house movie, and I get that's always how it happens. So you have to then seek out what the director really meant.
Right.
And the director then starts talking about his home, and he was upset that he had to leave it, and he felt like he always left a bit of him behind. Hearing that, it makes me think about, and this gets really personal, but fuck it. When we left Little Elm, it happened so fast, and we'd been there so long that I don't think I was really able to process what had happened. But now, to look back at it, it really sucks the way that it happened, because, and this is how I think really life is, you don't understand how great or how much fun or how content you are with life in those moments until you are really outside of it.
Yeah.
And so looking back on it, we had a lot of fun in Little Elm, and there was a lot of really great things that happened for us there, and we were able to connect in a way in Little Elm. And so hearing him talk about his home and then having to leave it, and then comparing it to what we experienced to that hit me really hard, where it's like, yeah, that shit changes, and then you look back on it and you want to leave a part of yourself behind, because you always want to remember those times. You always want to hold on to it, and you always want to basically replicate that. And I hope we're replicating that here. I think we are, and it's a little bit because that's where this show started.
Yeah,
was there. Did we do always the best shit there? And were we the best people there? No, but we had a ton of fucking fun. And now it's okay. that part's over. How do we move forward? And this movie, I really do believe, is all about that is over. He's dead. How do you then move forward? Yes. And it's all the way till the end of the movie. And there's a really cool scene where there's another ghost that he sees. And it's all the way to the end of the movie until he's able to pass on, really and truly. Mm-hmm. And so it's moving past what you used to have and letting go of the past and being able to move on towards the future and being able to get into that next phase of your life. That's legitimately what I thought about this movie. And I'll be honest, like, I don't, talk about this a lot, but I had a straight up panic attack in the middle of the fucking movie. And it's because I have my own problems of, thinking about the end and thinking about what is going to happen. And that really, truly terrifies the fuck out of me. Mm-hmm. And it's almost because I think about my own end, but I think about what I have to do when the people that are around me leave. That is what scares me. And there are at least a dozen times a day where I think about, you not being here, or Max not being here, or our parents not being here, or whoever it is. I just think about the end game of all of it and that person being gone. And that makes me really fearful. And then I just like hold on to that moment. And so it's this movie where it really holds on to that idea and just runs with it. So I think it does that really, really well.
For sure. Yeah. That's really, I didn't even think about Little M at all, but it's like, yeah, when like Rooney Mara's character like leaves like a literal physical piece, in the home, like, I think metaphysically or like just emotionally, whatever it is, like you kind of leave a piece of yourself in like every home or place you live, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah, like having to move from there, like it was super shitty and like really crappy how it went down. But
I think we made the best of it.
Yeah, I think we made the best of it. And I think like, we definitely grew up in a way moving from that.
Sorry,
No, it's all good. But the nonverbal stuff, the perfect example of that in this movie was when like there's a point in the movie, and I'm going to spoil the movie at certain points from here on out.
I've spoiled the shit out of it already.
Yeah, and I'm going to majorly spoil the end of the movie here in a second. So if you haven't seen this movie or you want to see this movie, stop now. Spoilers from here on out. Casey as Ghost walks up to the window and looks across the yard, and there's another ghost in the house next door, right? And obviously, they're different houses. They can't talk to each other. And never throughout this movie does a ghost speak dialogue at all. And
it's literally subtitled.
Well, but with the people in the house, like there's no verbal dialogue coming from the ghost whatsoever. And when these two ghosts are looking at each other from across the yard, they literally put subtitles so they're basically kind of communicating telepathically or however you want to interpret that. But for the ghost that isn't Casey Affleck, like even in this situation where there isn't verbal dialogue and they're using subtitles to convey this discussion between the two ghosts, like even then the written word doesn't convey the full emotion. The way that ghost like tilts its head and like conveys the emotion physically is really how you understand that scene.
It's all body language.
Yeah, and like the message in that scene was the ghost, the other ghost says, "I'm waiting for someone." And Casey Affleck's character asks, who? And then the ghost is like, I don't remember. And I mean, that was the point. Up until that point, like, yes, it was a fairly sad movie, and like, but it hadn't really hooked me in emotionally yet.
Yeah.
That was the moment I was like, oh my fucking God, like, this is heavy duty.
It's heavy as fuck. And then there's the other scene that is heavy as fuck that involves those two. And these two scenes are the heaviest of the entire movie. It's the house that they were in are being demolished.
Right.
And he looks over and that ghost just goes, I think he said something along those lines.
He said, I don't think they're coming back.
Yeah, but does it say anything before that?
No.
Okay, so all it says is, I don't think they're coming back. And then he vanishes.
Yeah.
The other ghost just complete, like the bedspread basically.
Yeah, so the way they move on basically is like the whatever, physical thing that's holding up the sheet like vanishes, and the sheet folds in on itself, right?
So the implication there is the only thing that was holding them on to this realm was the idea that person was coming back.
Yeah.
It didn't matter that it had been hundreds of years. It was still the idea that even that other person's spirit or ghost could come back to where they were is what was holding them onto that plane, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And the second that they thought that they weren't coming back is when they were released. They were holding on to the idea that they would come back for hundreds of years, for a long period of time.
Yeah.
That is what really, when I saw that and it folds, it was just like, oh, fuck.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that because, like, my interpretation of the end of the movie was like the other ghost, like, moving on was like literally the most tragic part of that movie because she or he or whatever gave up, right? In that moment, they said, I don't think they're coming back. Like, and I'm done waiting. I'm going to give up and move on. Casey Affleck's ghost stayed in that spot. They tore down the house. They built a tower, like on the house's foundation.
Yeah.
He literally at the end of like that timeline, he jumped off the top of the fucking tower, went back in time into like the 17 or 1800s, relived hundreds of more years until finally she did come back, right?
And he got that note.
And the only like way he was able to move on when he was finally able to reach that piece of paper that she had put in the wall, when he was finally able to like see that last part of her and like read that last piece that she had left behind for him, like that's what allowed him to move on. Like the other ghost gave up. He never gave up, and he stayed there for hundreds of years. He went back in time and relived hundreds more years until she finally came back.
Yeah, no, that is a really good way of looking at it. Is he basically was not going to give up on her?
Like, yeah, and like I saw this movie, like this is the end of the day is a love story about like
absolutely.
He would do anything to see her again or to understand what piece she left of herself in that house, right? The like I thought this was a fantastic movie, honestly.
I really liked it.
I really liked
enjoyed it.
Like the only two takeaways that like I really didn't like was some of the scenes were like literally drawn out for no other reason but to be artsy.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Right, like
because it's, and I go back to like Honest Trailers or Cinema Sins where it's like they like focus on a scene that goes way too long.
Yeah,
it's just like there were scenes where it was like this is 40 seconds too long.
Well, and like normally, like if it's a landscape shot or if it's the scenes where they held on the outside of the house for a while, I don't have any problem with that.
No, yeah.
But like when they're holding on, a character they're acting completely unnaturally than anyone would act in like real life.
Yeah.
That's when I have a problem with it, right?
No,
like
I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, there was a scene where
because like
he's just died and she's going to see his body, and it like she walks out and it focuses on his body, and like it just stays on that.
I thought that was like, good though, because like you thought eventually like the nurse was gonna come back or something, and then like but that's the moment when he turned into a ghost.
I get that, but like you could have cut that probably 20 seconds earlier.
Yeah. I mean, like my biggest problem was the scene where she ate the pie. Like,
yeah, which supposedly like a bunch of people got pissed off about that scene at like Sundance or something, or like it got a bunch of buzz. I don't know what the fuck
because
why.
It was like eating disorder.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like
I thought the concept of her like causing herself pain through eating a pie, like I think that's a good concept. Like again, my problem in the scene is like when in these like more kind of like artsy or
just called an A24 film.
Yeah, or like experimental movies, right? Like she was walking around that kitchen and she was like interacting with that space in a way that no one really would, right? Like I guess if like you're in the depths of grief and like you're just in a complete daze,
yeah, you're in shock.
You could act like that, but to me it seemed like she's acting unnaturally and holding at certain parts just for like dramatic effect. Like,
yeah,
she's sitting there staring at the sink for like a minute and a half, and it just seems odd, right? Like,
but yeah, and I think it's just like you're in the literal depths of grief where it's you just sit there and you think, and I've done that, like, and that's the other thing that I really enjoyed about this movie. Maybe not enjoyed, but like when you're in those moments of hours, days, weeks after something that you loved like passed away, like you do sit there and you're just like in thought of everything, and you're just thinking about like what had happened, and it does happen sometimes where you're not sitting, you're doing certain things, and it just fucking hits you like a wave, and you're just like,
oh. Yeah, I mean, like you're just like in complete shock at moments.
Yeah,
right?
But in a movie where it's like there's a chocolate pie in front of me, like it is a little bit of a different way, but
it's extremely difficult to portray.
Yeah,
like the grimmest of emotions on screen. So,
it's a very interesting movie. I was very thankful that you brought it to our attention.
Yeah,
I love that it was made here in Dallas. Like I think that is
the shot of like the CGI Dallas skyline at the end was badass. The only other issue I had with this was like when he goes back in time and then he relives up into the modern day when like so basically what happens is like he's trapped in this space that is the house. But he goes back to the point where like settlers first come to that area, but he relives up into the point where himself and Rooney come to lease that home. And so somehow like the spirit of the dead Casey Affleck is interacting with like this actual alive version of Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
And then when that new Casey Affleck dies, now there's two ghosts in the house. So it's like, that's weird.
It's a little weird. And
you know what I thought was going to happen? What I thought was going to happen was this is a new timeline that is independent from the one that he came from. Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck are going to move into the house. Rooney Mara is going to die. They're two ghosts reunited at the end of the movie.
I would have liked that. I would have liked that a lot.
That's how I thought it was going. But then, like, the same events happened. She moved out of the house, and there's two ghosts in the house now. And, like, when she leaves, when she moves out of the house, like, they show both ghosts, and then they cut immediately to him pulling the note out of the wall. And, like, somehow the other ghost, we don't know what happens to that one.
it all is done at that point, I think.
Yeah. I didn't understand like that interaction.
And I read something with the director, or we listened to something with the director after, and it was just basically like, I read it. He said, I didn't want to get caught up on the rules of everything with having the two there. I just wanted to show that the one who was sitting and not the one who was standing looking out the window, who was obviously the first ghost.
Yeah.
The second ghost who was sitting had learned from his mistakes and had learned from everything that he had seen, and he had grown as a ghost and knew to go and grab the note. Like, he had grown as a person, and that was him moving on.
So the ghost that pulled the note out, that was the second one?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, how was he like all dirty and like?
Because he was the one, like, through time. He was that all that dirt was him moving through time.
Yeah. So the one who got the note out was like the original ghost.
No, he was the one that had already gone through everything. So
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. The original. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think
you're calling the one that was looking out the window that was standing the
second one.
Yeah. I would call the one that was sitting that you're calling the original the second one. Yeah, and it's a weird like way to distinguish which is which.
The one who is sitting, the one who pulled the note of the wall,
yes.
That's the Casey Affleck that died first.
Yes. Okay, the one who died first. That's the best way to call it. Yeah.
Right.
Fuck, this movie's confusing.
So I don't think we're supposed to understand that that interaction there, but that was a weird way to like complete the loop.
Finish it all.
Yeah.
Off. Yeah.
But other than that,
it was an interesting movie. Ryan, what would you give this a max Jindo head?
3.5.
3.5. Okay. I was going to give it a 3.75.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. Very good movie. We would recommend this. How much did you have to pay for this on Amazon Prime?
$2.99 or $3.99.
Okay. I'm picking it up this weekend. So.
I don't understand you, dude.
I know. It's fine.
Okay.
Movie Training Company is having their sale.
Oh, another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Buy two, get one free this weekend at Movie Training Company in Dallas, Fort Worth.
It's annoying. It won't tell me. It's already bought it, how much it was.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's $3.99.
Yeah. But yeah, Ghost Story, directed by David Lowery, starring Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck. Definitely check it out. It's very thought-provoking.
Hopefully at some point in the future we'll have Mr. Lowery on our phone. I hope we're saying his name right.
Lowry.
Is there an R in it?
Yeah. Right. I wrote it down.
It is Lowry. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It'd be cool to get him on like when that new flick comes out.
Well, yeah, he's got Peter Pan. He's filming Peter Pan and Wendy right now. So
yeah. No, there's no chance we're gonna get him on for that one.
Yeah.
With the other one. So, anyways.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
All right. Last question from Vinny. What's our opinion on Spider-Man 3 with all three Spider-Men?
Fucking love it.
It'd be great if it actually happens. But you see that Tom Holland is now saying like he has no idea.
That's him just like fucking throwing people off the trail.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
It'll happen. And when it happens, people are going to cream their jorts in the freaking theater, and I'll be one of them.
Yeah. I'll
fucking lose my shit, dude.
I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's going to be sick. We're not excited as much about, what's the lightning guy?
Electro.
Right, we're not as excited about like the villains coming back per se.
I'm not at all excited for that, but like the fact that they're doing basically multiverse everybody in the fucking like Spider-Man 3, I cannot wait for that. So
that's sick. So
but everybody, this has been a fun episode. It got off to a very wild and wacky start.
Yep.
The Stars are losing 4-3 with 11 minutes left. So we're going to go watch the rest of that game real fast. But everybody, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Thank you to Christy for sending us some info. Thank you to Vinny for listening and
all the great questions.
Some fucking badass questions. You're a fucking OG. You're getting a free t-shirt. We're giving you a free t-shirt when we send free t-shirts out.
What do we have? When we have
merch.
T-shirts to send.
Everybody, thank you guys for listening to this episode. It's a little snowy here in Dallas, so everybody stay warm. Check out the YouTube. We live stream every episode. Oh, real fast. I haven't said this to Ryan. I've been meaning to say this to Ryan.
Okay.
We have a lot of fucking listeners in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
I went like 3 different things there. Cleveland, Ohio. The place is called Ohio.
Ohio?
Hough.
4 people.
Yeah. I don't know how you say that, but a lot of people there listening to this show. We really appreciate it.
Good point there. Just to point out that
I just wanted to shout them out. I just wanted, if they're going to listen to this next episode, we appreciate you guys listening to this episode.
Thank you, good people of Ohio.
We had like 7 people.
Really?
Last episode. Yeah. Like
Do we know someone out there?
No, we don't. They're just checking this shit out. So we appreciate you guys checking this out. Tell 3 of your friends. We really appreciate it.
Subscribe,
subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we will be back. Check out our Instagram at Furloughed Film Talks and our Twitter at Furloughed Film.
We're going to have a shit ton of stuff to talk about on Monday. We're going to see Nomadland. We're going to see Judas and the Black Messiah. We are going to see...
We got WandaVision tomorrow.
WandaVision to watch tomorrow.
Fuck me.
So Monday's episode is going to be stacked.
Dude, these next couple weeks are going to be nuts.
I know. Leading up to the Oscars.
Dude, we got Alexander Chaplin coming up.
Dude, it feels so good to have new movies.
We're going to have Ryan Airy from Screen Crush on the show.
Yep.
We're going to have people on from a movie called Feral State. We got people fucking reaching out to us for movies. Like we're rocking and rolling. This shit is getting going again. We're super excited about this shit. We're going to go see Ben Matheny up in New Orleans soon. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Everybody, stay fucking warm this weekend.
This lovely man.
This fucking dude. Stay fucking warm this weekend. Stay safe. Everybody have a great Valentine's weekend.
And happy President's Day.
Happy President's Day. We will see you on Tuesday.
Adios, amigos.
Bye, guys.